Man, oh man. This is what I expected to see last night from Errol Spence Jr., bro. But that's not what we got. But to be honest with you, I didn't think that that was the best Spence. Well, actually, I know that wasn't the best Spence because he looked like shit, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie. Even the Spence that fought Crawford, he looked horrible. Spence looked good against Ugas. Spence looked good against Danny Garcia, but after that fight, he just somehow looked like shit, bro. We just garbage now. We know Errol Spence back then in his prime, he was still a drinker, but that's when he was young. Maybe now that he's older, he still tries to do the same thing and drink, but that ends up affecting his performance in the ring. You feel me? Like, this shit is fucking crazy. He literally got his ass whooped. It was hard to watch, man. Hard to watch. And I ain't trying to take anything away from Tim Zoo, but fuck Tim Zoo. You feel me? Like, bro, you lucky you didn't get the Errol Spence that whooped Carol Buck's ass. You lucky you didn't get the Spence that whooped Danny Garcia. I mean, not Danny Garcia. Mikey Garcia's ass. Lamont Peterson's ass. Chris Algieri's ass. Like, your ass would have got whooped too, Tim Zoo. Like, it definitely made me so angry. Watching him fight. Like, Errol Spence, like, he was off balance. He was sloppy. I don't know what he was doing. He looked like he was drunk in the damn ring, bro. He looked like he had some Patron or some Don Julio before he stepped in the ring, bro. Like, it hurt my heart watching him get beat up like he stole something. You feel me? Like, damn. Like, this shit does break my heart. I can't believe this is the end of, like, Errol Spence because he announced his retirement. We'll never see him again in the ring, which sucks because he was one of my favorite fighters. You know what it is? It's that damn haircut of his, bro. It's that damn haircut. Like, what the hell is that rat tail? It's that Crawford haircut. Like, the one that he had against Crawford. That haircut he had against Crawford. Like, that's a freaking curse. He needs to go back to his old hairstyle, bro. Like, I'm trolling, but, like, bro. Like, I don't know, like, how the fighter can, like, decrease that quickly. That shit was heartbreaking. But I do want to see Tim Tszyu get his ass whipped. I know Crawford's not coming out of retirement, but damn, definitely breaks my heart. Let me know in the comments who you guys think should whoop Tim Tszyu's ass because Tim Tszyu need an ass whooping. I ain't gonna lie to you. And if Canelo Alvarez loses in October to Christian and Billy, it's gonna make Terrence Crawford's resume look like shit, bro. He's gonna look like a complete fraud. He's gonna look like he ducked Boots, he ducked Virgil Ortiz, Fundura, he ducked all the top guys. That's what it's gonna look like, bro. Because low key, that Spence win does look a little like it does look like shit now. Like, honestly, I ain't gonna lie to you. And Canelo looked like horrible too. But we'll see how Canelo looks against Christian and Billy. If he loses that fight and looks horrible, like, that just like proves my point, bro. Don't get me wrong though. Terrence Crawford, bro, he's still a generational talent, but I still think he left too early. Like, he should have done more for sure. Like, that's just my opinion though. That's just my opinion. You guys can have your opinion, but I do believe that Terrence Crawford, his two biggest fights are car accidents, man, and a Canelo with a worn down body. I know Canelo's older than Terrence Crawford. I'm not saying he's older, but he has more professional fights and his body is like way older. Like, his body's broken down. Like, Canelo's been professional since he was 15 years old. You feel me? But the reason why Errol Spence losing was so heartbreaking was because when I first started boxing, like, everyone in the boxing gym was like all pumped up for a fight, and I'm like, oh, who's fighting? Because, like, I try to fit in and everything, and everyone was like, oh, Errol Spence, he's fighting Mikey Garcia, and I'm just like, oh, who's that? Because, like, I was a boxer, but, like, I never really watched it, and I ended up watching the fight, and ever since I watched the fight, like, I started watching fights nonstop, and Errol Spence was the first fight I ever watched, so that's why, like, it broke my heart watching him get his ass whooped, like, you know. But congrats to Tim Zoo. And you know what's crazy? Another reason why I hate Tim Zoo is because I sparred Tony Harrison. You know, it's on Fight Hype, and Tim Zoo knocked out Tony Harrison. So ever since then, I wanted Tim Zoo to get beat up. And Errol Spence is my favorite fighter. So when the fight was made, I was so happy. And now Tim Zoo beat my favorite fighter, and he beat the first world champion I ever sparred in Tim Zoo. So like, bro, that just makes me want Tim Zoo to get annihilated. I just want him to get like obliterated, you know. But I do wish Spence like a nice recovery, you know. I do wish Spence, you know, a nice retirement. I hope he spends his money well. I hope he doesn't get fat like Adrian Boner, bro. I hope he doesn't become like one of those fat legends, you know. I hope he stays in shape and, you know, stays healthy and shit, but and lives like a long life, you know, because that car crash was no joke. This man literally flew out the car. I don't even know how the hell he's alive, bro. Like that's crazy. Like God is with him, bro. Like for real, for real. But it was nice, you know, watching his career from like Derek James, then now his last coach, and you know, watching him throughout the years. But it is sad to see him retire. You know, retire. I wish I would have known like it was his retirement yesterday. Like I would have bought like a bottle of something. You know, I would have got drunk as hell. But I do wish Errol Spence the best. You know, like I said, you feel me? And like low key, Spence did have some good moments in the fight. You know, where he was going to the body. You know, using his left hand, hitting those angles. But when he was off balance, falling over and shit, like I was just like, what the hell? I've never seen him look like that. Well, I've seen him like, you know, have some weird ass moments like that. Like remember that moment where he had against Ugis where he like threw a punch and he like almost fell into the ropes and then Ugis came back and almost dropped him with a hook coming in. Like that was crazy. But call me crazy, but like Prime Spence, man, I think he would have beat Crawford. I think Prime Spence he would have beat Boots Ennis too. Like you guys can call me a D Rider, crazy. I don't know, man. That man was different, man. Especially the one who fought Kell Brook. Like that, he was a punisher, bro. He would stay in front of you, pressure you, beat you up, stay in front of your face, punish your body. You know, he was a big fish, bro. He was the big fish, you know. Strap season. You feel me? Now it's coming to an end of a generation. Man, I still want Tim Zoo, bro. Yo, Tim Zoo, we gonna get your ass, bro. Trust me, we gonna get your ass. I'll be so mad if Tim Zoo retires. I mean, I've seen Tim Zoo get his ass whipped, but like, I have to see him get his ass whipped after beating Spence. You feel me? Cause like, that's a whole different story. I want my get back. You feel me?